All right, I think we're gonna get started. Again, welcome everyone to your UC Davis College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences webinar. It's really exciting to have everyone here join us. We're going to get started. Congratulations. Before we get started, we just want to go over a few things about Zoom, the web platform that we're using. You'll probably want to play around with Zoom. So first you should know, as attendees, your video is off and you are muted. Please use the Q&A function to ask questions. This will help us keep a record of the questions asked. We have advising staff working behind the scenes to answer your questions. Just so you know, attendees may see the questions and answers, but you can ask the questions anonymously if you prefer. We will not be using the raise your hand function, and we prefer not to use the chat function to answer questions. Remember to use the Q&A. As presenters, we may use the chat function to send out websites or group messages to all attendees. I'm going to take a moment to introduce ourselves. Presenters, please tell us your name, your position and department, how your position supports new students, and a fun fact about yourself. Nicole, would you like to start us off? Oh, you're muted, Nicole.
Okay, I'm Nicole Brooks. I'm the major advisor for the majors of atmospheric science, hydrology, environmental science and management, M through Z, and sustainable agriculture and food systems. And I'm in the Department of Land, Air, and Water Resources. And I basically tell you which classes to take. And I also explain campus resources. And a fun fact is I like to sing karaoke with my peer advisors.
Awesome. Sorry, Melissa.
Hi, my name is Melissa Whaley. I am the undergraduate advisor in the Department of Environmental Science and Policy. I am the major advisor for environmental policy analysis and planning and environmental science and management, A through L. As Nicole said, I can help you plan your classes and help advise you about campus resources. I also advise for the environmental policy minor and the climate science and policy minor if you're interested in those. A fun fact about me is that Bob's Burgers is my favorite show, and if you watch it, you can see my fabulous poster back here. Make sure to put on your spectacles.
I love that poster in the background. Hi, everyone. My name is John Lee. My preferred pronouns are he, him. I am the undergraduate academic programs advisor for the College of Ag, one of many. And a fun fact about myself, I have a fur baby who knows that she is #1 in our lives, and she definitely takes advantage of that with treats sometimes, most of the time. We do have some advisors in the background, so I would like the peer advisors now to introduce themselves.
Hi guys, I'm Catherine. I'm a peer advisor for the Environmental Policy Analysis and Planning, as well as Environmental Science and Management departments. It's my first year doing that, but I'm going into my junior year as a student here at UC Davis.
Hello everyone, my name is Paola Vargas. I'm a peer advisor for Nicole under atmospheric science, environmental science and management, and hydrology. And my pronouns are she, her, hers. And yeah, it's good to see everyone.
Hi, everybody. My name is Geneva Iverson Krampitz. I'm the peer advisor for environmental science and management, which is also the major I'm in currently. I'm doing the ecology, biodiversity, and conservation track. And my pronouns are either she, her, or they, them. Either is fine.
And hello, my name is Jocelyn. I'm also one of the peer advisors for environmental science and management. I am doing the ecology, biodiversity, and conservation track. I'm technically third year standing. I'm a transfer student, so it's a little bit interesting tracking years. This will be my first year as a peer advisor and my second year at Davis, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you. I believe that is all of them. We do have a few academic advisors, dean's advisors in the background. They will be the ones who will be answering a lot of your Q&A questions. So make sure you write your questions in the Q&A. Moving on. When someone says they don't believe in global warming, be a lot cooler if you did. Yeah, absolutely. So your CA&ES network support. As a student in the College of Ag, you will have a wide network of support, which includes major advisors who can help with your major specific questions like, what classes should I be taking? How do I get involved in the major? And what research opportunities are available in my major? You also have the UAP Dean's Office, who can help you explore different majors, answer questions about your university, general education, and college requirements, and any other general questions you might have. Although we specialize in certain areas, major advisors and UAP Dean's Office can connect you with campus resources and introduce you to co-curricular opportunities so that you can get involved in the major or in the college. You may also work with faculty advisors in your major who are experienced professors that can help you tailor your major to your interests, and peer advisors who are current UCD students. We are all here to help you navigate your academic career. Don't be afraid to ask for help as you begin your educational journey at UC Davis. Now we're going to move on to the major specific information. Different advisors for your majors. So as we previously mentioned, staff advisors is the first stop for advising and questions. They can answer questions about your major, can help plan scheduling, and a lot more. Your master advisor is a faculty member who is an expert in your major, can help you choose a track, and is great for questions about careers and grad school. Peer advisor is a current student in your major, can provide a student perspective, and has taken many of the classes that you will take.
Okay, so for which advisor do you see? You would want to see me if you are in the environmental policy analysis and planning major. If your last name starts with A through L, you'll want to see me for environmental science and management, or if you're interested in the climate science and policy minor.
You would want to see me if you want to major in atmospheric science. You would see me if you are M through Z, environmental science and management major. If you're interested in hydrology or sustainable agriculture and food systems. So the atmospheric science major. Students in atmospheric science investigate exciting and diverse topics ranging from how to forecast severe weather events to how humans may be altering Earth's climate. If you're a student with an interest in the geophysical sciences or environmental studies and engineering, then atmospheric science is a major worth exploring. Atmospheric science is the study of physics and chemistry dealing with meteorological processes. These include controls on global climate, movement of storm systems, mass and energy transfers at the planetary surface and within the atmosphere, actions of solar and terrestrial radiation, influences of turbulence and diffusion, condensation and precipitation mechanisms, chemical transformations, and transport of air pollution. Careers include biogeochemistry modeling scientist, astrophysicist, climatologist, and environmental scientist. Hydrology major. Are you interested in solving water supply and water quality problems? Do you want to deeply understand the water cycle related to floods, droughts, and water security? Water is key to life. Hydrology is the science of water, its occurrence, distribution, movement, and properties within each phase of the hydrologic cycle and its relationship to humans and the environment. Hydrologists study the physical, chemical, and biological processes involving water as it travels its various paths in the atmosphere, over and beneath the Earth's surface, and through growing plants. Careers include treatment and process manager, water quality specialist, hydrogeologist, irrigation specialist, and hydrologist.
So environmental policy analysis and planning. The environmental policy analysis and planning major provides students with a strong interdisciplinary background in policy analysis, including the evaluation of policy alternatives and the study of factors affecting policy formulation and implementation. Key components of this major include a general background in the natural sciences relevant to environmental policy, mathematics, statistics, and research methodology to quantitatively analyze environmental problems and policy options. Students will also get training in environmental impact assessment and geographic information systems. Both are areas of growing demand, particularly in the green job market. I actually like to think of this major as how environmental science is used and applied in the real world. So how do you use that environmental science to make policies, and how do you tell if those policies are effective? Because you can have all the policies you want, but if they're not effective, it doesn't help anybody. Careers for environmental policy would be environmental legislator, environmental consultant, environmental lawyer. Those are the main ones, but really you can go into almost any sort of environmental career with this major. And the environmental science and management major will help students learn to solve environmental problems from an interdisciplinary perspective, linking the natural and social sciences. By studying the physical, biological, and social components of environmental problems, students will understand the scientific basis for environmental decision-making and the economic implications involved in management of the environment. The major offers a contemporary perspective for solving environmental problems and understanding human dimensions of the environment. Students gain exposure to real-world problem solving and learn how to use cutting-edge technology and tools. Careers for environmental science and management would be environmental scientist or an environmental consultant. You could work in public or private environmental consulting, and that could be anything from making sure that people are following environmental policies or even counting fish populations. So lots of different environmental career options for environmental science and management.
The Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems major. The program emphasizes an experiential learning approach to sustainability education, allowing students to choose between three tracks within the major. Students in the agriculture and ecology track focus on crop and animal production systems, ecology, and practices that mitigate negative impacts while producing environmental and social benefits. Students in the food and society track focus on issues related to the social, cultural, political, and community development aspects of agriculture and food systems. Students in the economics and policy track focus on issues related to agricultural and resource economics and policy and management. The program provides students with practical experience through courses with on and off-campus fieldwork and through internship placement at sites related to students' interests and focus of study. Careers include land and resource manager, chef, investment analyst, integrated pest manager, farmers market coordinator, brewery manager, rancher, food policy analyst, and organic sales produce manager.
So we'll be going over the first quarter course recommendations soon. These are recommended schedules. If you cannot get into the specific recommended classes, that is okay. We can find you alternative classes and you're not going to be thrown off track towards graduation. Each student is going to have unique circumstances, and you can meet with your academic advisor to create an individualized schedule. So you'll want to make an appointment with the Colori. I saw a question about what you do if appointments are full. Appointments should not be full for either one of us, but if they are, please send us an email and we'll see if we can schedule something that's not on the calendar. I recommend creating 2 or 3 different schedules in schedule builders. So like plan A and plan B and plan C if you have to go to it. Also, get yourself familiar with Schedule Builder. It will be really useful to sort of know the ins and outs once you get to registration time. Things will be a lot easier. If you find it difficult or have questions about using Schedule Builder, our peer advisors are a great resource. So don't be afraid to reach out to them. And you can reach out to Lacole or I for their contact information if you can't find it on our website. In fact, let me actually put a link to our advising appointment information in the chat. The Career Discovery Group is a great option for your first quarter. The Career Discovery Group is actually a three-quarter program, and students in the past have found it very useful. But it is optional if it doesn't fit into your schedule. You don't have to worry about not doing it, but if it does fit into your schedule, I highly recommend it. First year seminars are classes that are made specifically for first year transfers and freshmen. These are fun 1 or 2 unit classes that you can add to your schedule, and first year students have first chance at registering for them, which is one of the few times when you actually do get to register before everybody else. And then you're going to want to aim for 14 to 16 units for your first quarter.
For the atmospheric science majors, we recommend you take Chemistry 2A, the first quarter, the Math 21A, ATM 5, or another fun course, and a GE. Your units should be between 13 and 16 units. For the hydrology majors, we recommend Chemistry 2A, Math 21A, SAFS 4, which is Society, Science and Society, or another fun class, and a GE, so that your units total between 13 and 16 units.
For environmental policy analysis and planning, I would recommend taking Chem 10 or Biz 10 or Biz 2B. So that's chemistry, biology, or general biology, or ecology. Chem 10 is chemistry for non-majors, and you do not need the placement exam to take it. It is only offered in fall quarter. So if you want Chem 10, you'll want to take it either this fall or fall of sophomore year. We also recommend getting started with calculus. You have 3 options: Math 16A, 17A, or 21A. Math 16A is short calculus, 17 is specifically for students in biological sciences, and 21 is the most advanced. Which one you should do partly depends on how you feel about calculus. If it's a subject that you enjoy and you want to challenge yourself, 17 or 21 would be a good option. If it's something you just kind of want to get over with, Math 16A is fine. And any of them will prepare you for your future courses. We also recommend Geology 1 or Plant Sciences 12 or Animal Science 1. These courses all meet the same requirements, so you just need one of them. And then the Career Discovery Group, a first year seminar, or another GE for a total of 12 to 16 units for your first quarter. And then for environmental science and management, we recommend Chem 2A, Math 16, 17, or 21A, although we do recommend Math 17 because it is more related to biological sciences. Geology 1 or Geology 50. We recommend Geology 50 because it's more for students who will be using geology in their major. And then the Career Discovery Group or first year seminar or another GE. And also ESM 98. ESM 98 is an introduction to the environmental science and management major and goes over the major in detail, including all of the specific tracks. We do offer it every fall quarter, so if you can't take it this fall, you're more than welcome to take it in a future year. And that would total 13 to 17 units for the quarter.
For the Sustainable Agriculture and Food Systems major, we recommend you take PLS 15, CRD 1, a GE, and CRD 20 for a total of 13 to 15 units.
I was muted, my apologies. Now that you have learned all about advising and how to get connected with your advisor, we encourage you to get involved with the College of Ag. There are so many ways that you can do this during your time at UC Davis, not just your first quarter. The UAP Dean's Office offers fun opportunities for new students to engage with our staff and with their peers. Our Aggie Ambassadors program gives students a chance to participate in community service and outreach while promoting our college. In the top left photo, our Aggie Ambassadors are participating in outreach to high school students at the Future Farmers of America event. In the Career Discovery Group program, new College of Ag students can get a head start in exploring different career paths with the guidance of a campus mentor. Another great opportunity in the college is our Manners organization, also known as the Multiculturalism in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences organization, where students can take part in promoting diversity in the field of agriculture. All of these programs offer unique ways for new students to get involved with the college, and in some cases, even earn academic credit. Contact the UAP Dean's Office to join these programs or for more information. Also, be on the lookout for events like this fall, like Coffee with the Dean, Ice Cream Social, Study Breaks, and Slice of Advising. What is my next step? So your next step will be to complete Aggie Advising if you have not done so already. You will want to review the information on our website, and then you'll want to schedule your Aggie Advising appointment. Question. Now I think this will be the time where we will open up the Q&A and start talking about questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the Q&A portion, and we will make sure to get to that. One question someone once had was, I'm hoping to change majors into the ESM major. Should I meet with both the ESM advisor and the advisor for the major I am in right now? That's a great question. And to answer this question is you can meet both advisors, and our advisor definitely encourage you to meet with their ESM advisor to plan for your fall courses. Another great question a student had was, how do you schedule an advising appointment? To schedule an advising appointment, you will want to go to appointments.ucdavis.edu. I can drop that link in the chat for everyone. Another great question someone had was, who was the peer advisor for SAFS, SAFS? And the peer advisor is Victoria Roberts. Another great question a student had was, will this recording be uploaded tonight? Unfortunately, the recording will not be available until next week, and then the recording will be posted at this link right here that I will share in the chat as well.
Okay, so we've got a good question about AP Calculus. If you don't have your results yet, basically, if you get a 4 or 5 on the exam, you have the option of taking first quarter calculus or going directly to second quarter calculus. So you can always register for first quarter calculus, which would be 16, 17, or 21A. And then once you get your results, you can make changes to your schedule, probably either during Pass 2 or during open registration. Pass 1 isn't until August, so hopefully AP exam scores will have come out by then.
There was a question, open question, do we make the recommended 3 different schedules before our Aggie advising appointment, or do we do that during it? I believe academic advisor Danielle would like to answer that question.
Okay, it looks like Danielle may not be up, but for the various schedules you want to create, probably after your Aggie advising appointment, and we talk about what to take in your first quarter. You can find your major requirements in the catalog. So let me put a link to the catalog in the chat. Okay, and the recommended first quarter schedule, actually, I've got a page on our website with the recommended first quarter schedules for ESM and for EPAP. So let me put that in the chat. I don't have it for SAFS, ATM, or HYD, but I do have it for environmental science and management and environmental policy. If you're concerned that your transcripts will not be in on time, you'll want to talk to the undergraduate admissions office. Okay, so it's going to take quite a while for your AP scores to enter OASIS. And by quite a while, I mean quite a while. You may not see it until after fall quarter begins. We've got a question about completing major requirements and study abroad. So for study abroad, you would want to talk to LaCollery or the faculty advisor for your major. And you want to talk to LaCollery about your major requirements.
Here's another good one in the chat. What is the difference between Aggie advising and academic advising, if any?
Okay, we've got a good question. Would you recommend that we take a career discovery first year seminar instead of an arts and humanities class for your first quarter? When is a good time to take your English GE classes? So depending on whether you have met the entry level writing requirement or not, kind of changes the answer on the English requirement. If you've met the entry level writing requirement, I would try to get the basic composition course, UWP1 or English 3 done in your first year. If you have not yet met the entry level writing requirement, you'll want to get on that as soon as you can. But how many quarters you have to complete it depends on where you placed. So you want to see LaCollery to talk about which English classes to take and when.
Melissa, I can jump in to answer Jocelyn's question from earlier, the question about what's the difference between Aggie advising and academic advising. So Aggie advising is just a form of academic advising. Aggie advising is specifically for our incoming students who are starting in the fall. Aggie advising takes places during the summer, and it would be before you have your pass time to enroll in fall classes. So it's the same thing, but we just have a term for it now that you are all in the process of starting with us in the fall. And in addition to that, we also had a question about how to complete Aggie advising. The way to do that is just to schedule your appointment with your major advisor. Once you have completed that, then you are all done with Aggie advising. All right, that's it for me, Melissa.
Should you take your placement exams before or after the advising appointment? I would recommend taking them before your advising appointment, because then we can let you know which specific classes you should be taking. For transfer students with the upper division writing class, it depends on which classes you took at your community college. So you want to meet with LaCollery to talk about your individual situation. You can find your pastimes in OASIS and in Schedule Builder. So on the front page in OASIS on the right-hand side, or on Schedule Builder on the top, if you select fall quarter, it will show you your pastimes. If you want to do a minor, I'm seeing a question, if I want to do a minor with the geography major, how can you do that? We don't have a geography major, but we do have, I think, some sort of geography minor, and that is within the landscape architecture department. So you'd want to contact the landscape architecture advisor, and she'd be able to help you with that. Adding a minor onto your studies is not too difficult. At UC Davis, you actually don't declare your minor until you're done with it. So you sort of just start working on it. And then once you've registered for your last class, you officially declare the minor. To get more information about any minors you're considering, you'll want to meet with the advisor for that minor. If you can't find that information, you can ask Lacolari and we can help you track that down. We've also got a question about whether you can do a minor in a different college. Yes, you can do a minor in any college. Does anyone want to tackle why we have two different pastimes? Clarissa, John, or Danielle, do you want to handle what pass 1 and pass 2 are for?
Sure, I can take that. I was actually just in the process of answering that in the Q&A, but essentially UC Davis has two pastimes to allow students to get into the classes that they need. So for example, a fourth year can't go and enroll in a ton of units and take classes from other students. But pass 1 will allow students to enroll in up to 17 total units. And pass 2 will let students enroll in up to 19 total units, in addition to wait lists being available for pass 2. So for pass 1 is when you're going to want to enroll in all the classes that you do need and enroll in your backup classes if the classes that you want are full. Pass 2 is going to be when you can start waitlisting, or if you are trying to get into any other classes that are restricted to students in the major, then pass 2 would be your opportunity to enroll in those classes. Yep.
So you bring up a good point. You'll find that some classes have what's called a pass 1 major restriction, meaning only students in certain majors can register for that class during pass 1. Usually in pass 2, that restriction has been lifted. You'll be able to see which majors can register for a class by clicking on Show Important Details in Schedule Builder. Sometimes if it just says restricted to majors, that means the majors that are in the department that class belongs to, like psychology or art studio. Also, as of fall 2021, you can waitlist for most classes during pass 1. That's not true of every class. And if you have to wait until pass 2 to waitlist for a class, it will tell you and show important details. And if you are interested in a different major, or you realize that your chosen major is not right for you, that's completely fine. Students change their mind about their major all the time. And it's a fairly simple process to change majors. You'll just want to meet with your new major advisor or your intended major advisor and find out what the requirements are for changing into that major. Every major has different requirements. For example, if you wanted to change into environmental policy, all we require is that you have a 2.0 GPA. But if you want to change into the communication major, you have to complete a specific set of classes first. So each major is going to have different requirements, but you do not have to be in that major to start working on it. For example, if you know right away that the major you signed up as is not the major you want to do, you can start working on your new or intended major right away. You don't have to wait until you've officially declared that major. You'll just want to meet with that major advisor. And you can usually make an appointment through the appointment system. If you cannot, because appointments are limited to students in the major, send an email to that major advisor. And you can usually find the email information on the department's websites. To prep for your Aggie advising appointment, I would take your placement exams. And then also just think of any questions that you may have so you can write them down to make sure that we get to all of your questions in our appointment. But that's really it. Nicole or I are very open to any questions, basic or complicated. No question is too big or too small. If we don't know the answer, we will refer you to who does know the answer. So just come prepared with questions, take your placement exams if you can, so that we can help you plan your schedule a little more efficiently.
And we also recommend that you meet with us a minimum of twice during the school year. So this initial meeting and then maybe another meeting for winter or spring courses, at least two. The dean's office really likes it when you meet with us twice. So let's really push for twice this coming year.
Some people meet with us every quarter right around registration time, and we encourage that. Some people meet with us less. Some people meet with us more. Some people come just to talk to us, and we encourage that. We're here because we like students. That's really why we do our jobs. Great question from Madeline about whether transfer students need to take placement exams if you completed those courses already. No, you don't need to take the placement exams if you've already completed those classes. You only need to take the placement exams if you will be completing those classes at UC Davis. We've got also a great question about Math 16A. It's called short calculus, and I'm not exactly sure what that means. The class is not actually shorter than the other ones. Any of our peer advisors, have you taken calculus and Math 16A or one of the other ones? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've actually taken the 16 and the 21 series. So the 21 series is going to be a little bit more rigorous in terms of diving into the why of how calculus works. The 16, you're still getting all the main points. It's just not as in-depth. I found that the 21 series was actually, I don't want to say easier, but it built my mathematical intuition better than the 16 series did in a way that I found helpful moving forward in my other STEM classes. So that is something to consider.
And I've taken the 21 series at my college I transferred from, and then I took the 17 series here. So the 17 is definitely easier than the 21A series, but it has like a little sprinkling of biology in it. So if you want to know how we can use math to do things in the biological field, then that would be really good for you.
Yeah, and for me, I took 16A and B. I found it, if anyone, or if you're thinking about this question in terms of like AP Calc as well at your high school, I found it pretty like easily like transitionable, you know, like it was a lot of the same stuff. It wasn't like too crazy. So I feel like 16A and B are a lot more comfortable, especially if you've taken AP Calc already, or if you haven't, like I think it'll be an easier transition as well.
Yeah, I took 21, just the 21 A and B. I'm not going to repeat anything that anyone else has said, but kind of like Jocelyn said, it definitely, I felt like it prepared me for more rigorous STEM classes. I don't really have anything to compare it to at UC Davis. I took AP Calc in high school, and I would say that it's pretty comparable. At least 21A is fairly comparable to AP Calc A if you've taken that.
Okay, great question about number of units you need to complete to graduate. You need to complete a minimum of 180 units to graduate. Now, your major and GE altogether is not going to add to 180. So you'll also need to take some courses for what I call general interest. And these are courses you're taking just because you wanted to take them. I am interested to see if our peer advisors can recommend any non-major classes that they've taken.
I've taken a few like kind of like literature classes. Like I took this like love and fiction literature class. That was really cool. If you like reading books, I recommend taking one of those if you kind of want to incorporate like reading. Like if you won't have the time like otherwise, I think like reading for the class is really good. And there's like a Jane Austen class as well if you want to read like classic literature and kind of like delve deep into it and like just read a lot of like classic novels. I've also taken or seen some like a music class, like intro to music is really fun. And just kind of like learning the basics. It's not anything crazy and it's not like too hard as an intro class. And I think like I've taken or like I've seen a Chicano studies class, which is really cool. It's like intro, there's a few intro classes in the major, but there's one like intro to Chicano culture and there's like cultural politics. So yeah, so there's a lot of like intro classes in a lot of the majors that you can take.
I took my first year. I took an anthropology class. Now, granted, I'm looking to complete an anthropology minor, so it kind of serves a dual purpose. But that's kind of why I decided on an anthropology minor. It's something that really interests me, and I would definitely recommend just looking at things that you already find interesting. If you find psychology interesting, maybe go and take a couple classes. You don't have to minor in it. If you end up minoring in it, all the better.
For first year students, you're going to want to stick with courses numbered 1 through 99 for your first year. Courses numbered 1 through 99 are called lower division and meant primarily for first and second year students. Courses numbered 100 through 199 are called upper division and meant for later sophomore, junior, and senior year. Courses numbered 200 or higher are graduate level, so definitely stay away from those until you're at least a senior. But stick with courses numbered 1 through 99 if you're a first year student.
Real quick, one class that I will add to the recommended, it is upper division. So this is something that most of you probably won't be considering for this school year unless you're a transfer student. ESM 141 with Dr. Latimer was one of the coolest classes I've ever taken. That's fire ecology. So you go into the physics of fire. You talk about ecological theory, how understanding the different fire regimes across California, across the world. That's incredibly relevant today. And I found that complemented my coursework quite nicely. So that's a good one to keep in your mind. That's offered spring quarter usually, I believe, or winter quarter. Yes.
Every other year in winter quarter.
Would some of the peer advisors just talk about a little with internship, how you got your internships, what you're doing with them? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's a great question. And I participated in a couple internships this past year, and it was a little hard to get them just because of the pandemic. Luckily, one of the internships that I participated in, which was a student intern with the plant sciences department. I worked for the course code is PLS 21. It's a computers and plant sciences. It's a necessary requirement for EPAP, I'm certain, and probably ESM as well. No, thank you, Melissa. That's how I ended up taking the class, and I was offered a spot as part of the teaching team through taking that class. I also worked at UC Davis CABA, which is the Center for Aquatic Biology, Aquatic Sciences. I work with fish, super cool. Sturgeon, salmon, trout, any kind of fish that's native to essentially the Puda Creek area, you're going to work with. It's a super awesome internship, and I got that through the incredible professor Gwen Arnold. She hooked me up with that. She's incredible, love her. So definitely reach out to your professors to get internships.
Yeah, speaking of Gwen Arnold, I'm doing an internship for her. I have for the past 2 quarters. So basically how I got it was that I went to her office hours when I was in one of her classes, and I was like, hey, do you have any internship opportunities? She's like, yeah. And then basically she just emailed me when she needed somebody, and I was like, yep, okay, I guess I'm gonna do that. So what I'm doing with her is I'm calling municipal officials in the Appalachian Mountain area, so like Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and I'm asking them about their opinions on oil and gas drilling, so what we call like fracking, I guess colloquially. So yeah, it's been pretty fun. So definitely, like Catherine said, reach out to your professors. It's a very good avenue for finding an internship.
Yeah, also speaking of Gwen Arnold, I'm doing the same like project, like research. I just started, I'm just hopping on like this summer, and it's just for the summer, and it like I mean, yeah, like we already explained, like she's doing fracking. I don't really know like what exactly like my position will be yet. I think she's opening up some like social media outreach that she wanted us to like start doing as like a new kind of side project for fracking, and like getting people to like kind of engage with fracking like on social media and like know more about it. And so yeah, so I'm also like, I also recommend like reaching out to your professors. I also emailed her because like I took 2 classes with her, and she's really cool and really open to like working with students, and she has like a lot going on that you can jump on to. So yeah, so that was one of the ways that like it's super easy to reach out, like literally any professor that you know that you like what they're doing. But yeah, but I also have had an internship with the Arboretum. So the Arboretum consists of like 12 internships that like is under like the Learning by Leading program. And the internship that I was a part of was called the Arboretum Ambassadors. And I mean, I recommend like any of the 12 internships. They all do like really cool stuff. There's like Gateways, water something outreach, I forget, but they like work in like Puda Creek, and they work at the nursery. There's one for like museum coordinators, and there's a lot you can do. But yeah, so what I did was like I helped like organize events and like teach students and the public about like what the Arboretum was doing, and like topics like carbon neutrality, and like what Davis is doing to go like carbon neutral. And we just had a workshop on environmental justice, and we partnered with the mental health organization or the mental health initiative to talk about like self-care in nature. So it's like really broad, and it's really cool. I recommend like any of those internships as well if you like the Arboretum, or if you like event outreach and stuff like that.
So real quick, I just got a question in the chat asking about fracking. We had a couple people mention that here. So for those of you that have not learned about this yet, fracking is essentially the process of extracting natural gas and oil from the earth by using pressurized fluid to create little fissures in which the gas then goes into it. We extract it. It poses risk to our water sources. You might have heard a lot about that in the news, different environmental groups being against that for various reasons. As far as internships goes, kind of shifting gears here real quick, I've had 2 internships at Davis, both of which I got from going to office hours, which I cannot stress enough is so important to do. One of the things that I've made a habit of since transferring to Davis is each quarter typing in my professors' names into UC Davis or on Google, and then looking at their professional web pages, reading about the work they do, checking out their lab pages. Most professors, if they run a lab, there will be an accompanying web page that explains the research they do, current, past projects, grad students, collaborators. So I'll check that out. And then I usually go to office hours for each professor, at least by week 2 in the quarter. So I did that starting my first quarter at Davis, and I got an internship with Zhao Li Dong. So not Gwen. This is new. She does work with Gwen. They co-teach ESP1. And I got that one just by asking research questions. I said, well, what happens with this natural phenomenon? And could we design an experiment like XYZ to study that? And that turned into a job offer. So I do biogeochemical cycling in freshwater ecosystems with her grad student. We use stable isotope analysis to look at nutrient cycling. It is so cool. The other internship I have is with the Wild Energy Initiative and the Arid Land Lab. That is another one that came from office hours. I saw that my professor, Dr. Hernandez, was also a community college alumni, actually the sister community college to the one I went to, Orange Coast College. And I just showed up to be like, oh my gosh, you went to community college too? That's so cool. I completely skipped over her really awesome degrees from UCLA, Stanford, and I'm like, wow, community college, that's great. And, we talked about my academic interests, and she goes, oh, you're into birds? Well, we're hiring a birder right now. And I ended up falling into this 2-year project studying the impact of novel renewable energy infrastructure on biodiversity as the onboard ornithologist. So little things like that, just going out of your way to make that personal connection with faculty goes miles. That is, I will say 100% been the most important part of my professional development in terms of just having those people in my circle to guide me in the right direction of opportunities that will help me out. So they do want to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, don't be afraid of reaching out to professors. If you're nervous about reaching out to them, tell them you're nervous about reaching out to them, but you'd still like to talk to them. Most of our professors are extremely friendly and like talking to students. You want to do a little bit of due diligence first, as the peer advisors mentioned before. Just Google them and find out what their professional interests are. And you can say, hey, I saw that you're into this. And they usually love to talk about whatever they're interested in.
So there's a question for peer advisors. What are some other favorite professors you've had? Yeah, honestly, there's a lot. I really liked, like we said, all the professors are super friendly. They're all amazing. I really liked my conservation biology class with Daniel Karp, and he's super cool. I see there's another. He's super cool. He's super friendly. Really nice to, approachable, and I took trees and forests with Andrew Latimer as well. That was really cool. I don't know, I might think of more, but anyone else can go.
The person who came to mind was Helen Dalke. She does the GIS, like intro to GIS class that I took, and GIS is not my strong suit, but like I said, like all the professors are just great. So, but she was really good for like teaching me how to do things that I did not understand at all. So very cool.
Hey, we got a question about trying to schedule an appointment with the Agriculture and Environmental Sciences office. That is the dean's office, and you're actually going to want to schedule your Aggie advising appointment with your major advisor. So you'll be picking environmental science and management, environmental policy analysis and planning, atmospheric science, hydrology, or sustainable ag and food systems, depending on your major. The College of Ag probably does not have very many advising appointments available right now. So you'll want to schedule with your major advisor.
Peer advisors, can you talk about some of the clubs that you might be in or have heard about?
Yeah, so like one of the first things I did when I got to Davis last year, because I'm a transfer student, was I went on to the club page, because there's a page where they list like every single club on campus. And I found some of the ones I was interested in. I sent them emails. So, but the one I ended up joining was Nakiki a Hawaii, which is a Polynesian dance club. So I have no background in hula or Tahitian or anything, but I started that. So I've been learning how to hula dance for the past year. It was really, really fun. So the point being is that if you have some really random interest that you've never explored, there might be a club for it. So really look into those clubs. And yeah, they have everything, all kinds of dancing, food things, cultural things, all this stuff. So really look into that, because you might be able to explore something you would never otherwise be able to do. So.
As far as clubs go, we also have club sports teams, which are a lot of fun. Maybe if you're not a professional athlete, but did sports in high school and still want to have that team environment. So when I transferred in, I joined the triathlon team, which was online for the first quarter that I was there. But since then, I've been practicing with the team since winter quarter, and I now have 3 wonderful roommates that I met through that experience. So that could be a lot of fun, a quick way to make friends that enjoy doing activities that you also enjoy. So mountain biking, swimming, running. And there are so many teams. I can drop a link in the chat to the club sports page for you all.
Awesome. Thank you, peers. I know not all the peers were able to share, but just due to time, if you are interested in any more of the things that the peers are involved in, I would highly recommend reaching out to them directly and seeing them one-on-one, and then you can talk more about what professor they like, what classes, and what other extracurricular activities they had. But thank you so much, panelists, for being here. Thank you, students, for being here. Again, if you have any questions, the information was online. I think we'll be uploading this webinar hopefully about a week or so, but thank you, everyone. Nicole, Melissa, do you have any last minute closing statements?
Just make sure you come and see us so we can talk about your courses for the fall, the winter, the spring. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to meet a lot of interesting people, and just come with an open mind and just jump right in and go and connect with your instructors.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day, and it's good seeing everyone. Have a good day.